Hey guys, so we have the full information for the upcoming Dual Dokkan Fest on both Global and JP. It is confirmed that this is also coming out on Global now. We have a Super Saiyan Goku that exchanges into Super Saiyan Gohan, and then we have a First Form Cell that transforms all the way to Perfect Form Cell. So I did the translations for both of these. Let's go ahead and take a look. This is the art for the characters. We have Goku and Gohan, and then obviously he exchanges into Gohan, and apparently it's just Super Saiyan 1 Gohan. He actually he does not go Super Saiyan 2, so that's interesting. I'm very surprised that they would do that, because Super Saiyan 2 Gohan is definitely the the money maker, but we'll see. Alright, so let's go through this because these are quite long. So this is Super Saiyan Goku / Super Saiyan Gohan Youth. Leader skill is Super Saiyans or Goku's family. Categories Ki +3 and HP attack and defense plus 170%, plus an additional HP attack and defense plus 30% for characters who are also in the Android / Cell Saga category. So these are both 200% leaders. Super Saiyan or Goku family, that's insane. That mixture there is crazy. And then to get the 200% boost, you have to also be in the Android / Cell Saga. So they're really focusing on that category. Super attack is the instant transmission Kamehameha, raises attack, raises defense for 1 turn, and causes immense damage with a high chance to stun. So I tried to word this a bit differently than I normally do because usually people get confused, but the raises attack is an infinite stack, and then the raising defense is a 1-turn stack. So just to be clear about that, that's how that works. His passive is Goku's full power. Attack and defense plus 180% start of turn, which is very good. Gains an additional attack and defense plus 59% when performing a super attack. I do like that also. He's gonna be hitting very, very hard. Then he gains a chance to evade enemy attacks during the turn when performing a super attack for the first 5 turns from first appearance. So basically, after he super attacks, when it's during the first 5 turns, he will then, during that turn, gain a 50% chance to dodge. That's what that's saying. Which is kind of interesting. I mean, I would rather he just have had a high chance to dodge built in. I don't. I think at this point of the game, like, it's fine to just give units that. But and then once and gain a medium chance to evade enemy attacks during the turn of performing attack once 6 or more turns are allowed. So basically, that's the first 5 turns he gets a high chance, and when it's turn 6 or later, he then gets only a medium chance after performing a super attack during the turn. Then he gains an additional attack and defense plus 20% every time an attack is evaded. Max of attack and defense plus 59%. So you want this guy to be dodging. Once he dodges 3 times, you get his max passive built up there. And that's, where this Goku is going to be looking the best. Alright, so then he has an exchange, obviously, into Gohan. Conditions, you can exchange after performing 3 or more super attacks, which is interesting because he doesn't actually have a way to be... super attack built into his passive in terms of additionals. So it's pretty much just going to be raw from his like you actually hitting 12 key with him and him supering 3 times, unless you give him a bunch of additionals. So he exchanges with Gohan, and then you become Gohan. Links are Golden Warrior, Saiyan Warrior race, all in the family. Super Saiyans come out, Perfect Battle, Fierce Battle. Pretty standard, like, Super Saiyan Goku links, that pretty good links. A ton of categories. I'm not going to read through all of them, but yeah, there's a lot there. Then Super Saiyan Gohan Youth. So here's where things get interesting, because this Gohan is pretty insane. So the super attack is Masenko. Greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes immense damage. That's a 50% raise for 1 turn, which is very good. The passive is Surpass Your Father. Attack and defense plus 180%. Gain an additional attack plus 58% during the turn after receiving an attack. So that's basically like... Int Janemba, LR Beerus, and Whis. Like, they gain attack for that turn once they receive an attack. So basically, he wants to be in slot 1. This is a slot 1 character. Then he gains an additional defensive boost of up to 100%. The more HP remaining, the greater the boost. And then, here's where things get interesting, because this is not really something we've seen before. He guards against all attacks for 3 turns from first appearance. And then after guard has been activated twice, he gains defense plus 58% for the rest of battle. After guard has been activated 4 times, he gains attack and defense plus 58% for the rest of battle. After guard has been activated 6 times, guard activated against all types for the rest of battle. So what I think that basically means is if you guard against attacks 6 times. So that's not like 6 turns in a row, because it's impossible, because he only has guard for 3 turns. So it's if you are guarding when getting hit 6 times, he will have guard for the rest of battle. So what that kind of tells me is you want to exchange into this Gohan once you know you're getting hit a lot of times to get those buffs active. So I do kind of like that. It kind of makes you strategize and think about how you want to use the exchange mechanic. And then here is another interesting thing. So the last part of his passive, great chance to nullify ki-based super attacks and counter it with violent power. So this is worded differently than pretty much any other counter in the game. This is worded like the super attack nullification that like STR Kid Buu has, LR Gogeta has. So this is basically going to work on. I think the way that this works is like for characters that nullify dodging, this would still work. So like for example, Evolution Blue Vegeta at the end of the Legendary Vegeta event, obviously you can't dodge him. So a lot of the counters, I don't think work. If I remember this correctly, I think. But basically, he's going to be nullifying a 70% chance to nullify ki-based super attacks. And then the interesting thing about this is that this is a new multiplier, violent power. So the kanji that they used was not represented for any other counter that we have in the game. And I was looking at other units that we got that have counters, and it's not the same kanji as any of these other characters that counter. So I think it's literally just a brand new multiplier. So we'll see how hard this Gohan hits with his counter, but that's the design of this Gohan. I kind of do like how they did this. So that's the Gohan and Goku. Let's move on to Cell. This is his first form. I only included the image for the first form because there's 50 million images because he transforms throughout all of his forms here. This is a long one, and I apologize for the small text. It's really hard to get all this on one page. I could kind of just like open it in another open image in new tab, but it's going to be... Actually, it's not too bad. Okay, we'll do it like this. All right, so this is Cell first form. We'll go through this all pretty fast. All right, so this is Leader Skill, Androids / Cell Saga or Power Absorption. Categories Ki +3 in HP attack and defense plus 170%, plus an additional attack and defense and HP plus 30% for characters who also belong to the Androids category. So that's pretty easy to do. I mean, there's a lot of Androids in the Power Absorption and Android / Cell Saga categories, right? It's pretty widespread. So another 200% Leader Skill there. Super Attack is the Special Beam Cannon. Raises attack and raises defense for 1 turn and causes immense damage. That's the same sort of thing we saw with Goku. The attack portion is an infinite stack, and then the defense is 1 turn. Passive is Creeping Cell. Attack and defense plus 170%. Gain an additional attack and defense plus 30% when forming a super attack. Then he gains an additional attack and defense plus 80% and critical hit chance and chance to evade enemy attacks by 18% when there are 2 or more enemies. Then he gets an additional attack and defense plus 70% and critical hit chance and chance to evade enemy attacks by 17% when there are 3 or more enemies. And then he gets a medium chance to perform an additional super attack when HP is 50% or higher, and then he absorbs Android 17 when conditions are met. So the reason why I like the design of this Cell, and I immediately was like, okay, yeah, this is a good way of doing this, is because this is clearly a character that needs a lot of time to reach his full potential, right? He's got to go from first form to second form to perfect form. And it's going to take, a few turns to get there. So, but the way that they've designed this guy is for events like Super Battle Road that are more so based around the first like 2-3 turns of battle. This guy getting all these buffs for there being multiple enemies means that even in first form, he's going to be insane in Super Battle Road, right? Because in Super Battle Road, typically you're fighting against 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies at a time. So he's going to be getting basically his full passive active immediately in first form here. So he doesn't even need to transform against Super Battle Road for this guy to be crazy good. So that's the way, that's the reason why I really like the way that they designed this guy. And then the transformation conditions, we have absorbs Android 17 once 3 turns have elapsed from battle start. So it's not that bad of a condition. I mean, 3 turns flat, right? It's not that bad. His links, though, there's where things get a little bit questionable. We have Flee, which is actually terrible. Messenger from the Future, which is not good. Big Bad Boss is very good. Shocking Speed, very good. Nightmare, very good. Wall Standing Tall is kind of not great. And then Fierce Battle. So he has 4 really solid links. Obviously, Big Bad Boss is crazy good. Shocking Speed is very good. Nightmare is very solid. And then Fierce Battle, obviously, is crazy. But Wall Standing Tall, I would call that like a very not great link. Messenger from the Future is pretty bad. And then Flee is like actually terrible. And then he's on a bunch of categories there. So second form, his super attack effect remains the same. It's just the gravity bomber. Then the passive changes a little bit. So this is Cell approaching invincibility. Attack and defense plus 180%. So that's, I think, a little bit higher. Yeah, 10% higher. Gain an additional attack and defense plus 40% when performing a super attack. So that also goes up by 10%. Critical hit chance and chance to evade enemy attacks plus 17%. So he actually just gets that baseline. Doesn't need to have any enemies there. So that's just, you know, he gets that start of turn. Then he gets an additional attack and defense plus 120% and critical hit chance and chance to evade enemy attacks by 18% when there are 2 or more enemies. So that still requires 2 or more enemies. Then he still has a medium chance to perform an additional super attack when HP is 50% or higher, and then he absorbs Android 18 when conditions are met. And the transformation conditions are just absorbs Android 18 during the next attacking turn. So let's just think about this. So assuming that this Cell is on your first rotation, he's going to be transforming into second form during turn 3, right? And then he's going to be transforming from second form to perfect form on turn 5 because it's the next attacking turn. So the earliest you can be in perfect form is turn 5. That's really not that bad, right? But I think in events like Super Battle Road, you're not going to be getting to turn 5, right? So that's why this like mechanic of you getting these additional buffs when there's multiple enemies, when there's first form or second form Cell, like that's going to help a lot in events like Super Battle Road. And then the only thing that changes with these links is that Flea becomes Brutal Beatdown, which is definitely better because Flea is terrible. Alright, and then we get to Cell Perfect Form. His super attack is the Solid Hammer. So this raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes immense damage, so 30% raise there. Passive is the Full Power Cell. Attack and defense plus 250%. Very, very high number. Then he gains an additional attack and defense plus 50% when performing a super attack. So that's, you know, just straight up hit. That's going to make his, his stats very, very high. Then he gets a critical hit chance and chance of evading enemy attacks plus 35% at the start of turn. Then he gets an additional attack and defense plus 50% when there is 1 enemy. So he's getting all these different kinds of buffs. So basically, if there's 1 enemy at the start of turn, he's getting a 300% attack and defense buff. And then 50% on top of that. And then he gets a high chance to perform an additional super attack when HP is 50% or higher. So that is a jump from medium to high there. So an extra 20% chance there. His links, so Brutal Beatdown, Nightmare, and the Wall Standing Tall. Here's where things aren't so good for this guy. Become Gentleman, Attack of the Clones, and Ultimate Life Form. That is really bad. All of those links are so bad. Gentleman is terrible. Attack of the Clones is so bad. And then Ultimate Life Form is really bad. Like, why did they do that? No, Cell. Oh, man. All right, well, we'll see. He also does have a Rage mode, which he uses to become like the sort of buff Cell. He's able to use that when there's 1 enemy and own HP is 50% or less once only. And the way that they sort of made this Rage mode a little bit better is, number 1, his super attack multiplier is still immense, and I think normally when we get these Rage mode mechanics, they change the super attack multiplier to like, what is it, like destructive or whatever it's called, whereas this one is still immense, and he's going to be temporarily raising his attack. And then on top of that, his passive, he gets 2 ki at the start of turn, and then he is going to be doing guaranteed crits the entire time, so that's good. The Rage mode should be hitting fairly hard, but I don't think there's going to be a ton of instances where you're going to be seeing it. I mean, I guess you could potentially transform into perfect form, and in that same turn, you probably would be able to activate the Rage mode if there's 1 enemy and your HP is 50% or lower, I guess, right? But I think overall the Cell is designed pretty well, again, for the reason I stated earlier, because even if you don't get to like perfect form Cell, in Super Battle Road, you're going to be really, really good with all these buffs he's getting from there being multiple enemies, so I like that. Okay, next we have the banner units. So the first one is going to be Android 18 and 16, which is a very interesting combo. I'm surprised they went with that. So this is Life and Death Deciding Battle. The leader skill is Android's category key plus 3, HP attack and defense 130, not crazy. Super attack is the Dual Destroyed. I didn't really know how to... It was a weird word. I didn't really know how to translate that. Greatly raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes supreme damage. So that's pretty good. Just a 50% raise for both attack and defense is pretty respectable. Passive is Battle of Good and Evil, so attack plus 160% and defense plus 180%. Gain an additional attack and defensive boost up to 100%. The greater the HP, the greater the boost. So basically they can have up to a 260% and 280% respective attack and defense boost at the start of turn, which is pretty good. Gain a medium chance for all attacks to be effective against all types if there is a superclass ally attacking in the same turn. Medium chance, like, are we really doing this here? And then he gets a medium chance to guard all attacks if there's an extreme class ally attacking in the same turn other than this character. Again, I don't know. I don't know what the thought process was here. Not too good. Then all allies attack plus 34% and defense plus 16% if there is a superclass enemy. So that's pretty good. They get a little bit of a support buff there. And then all allies attack plus 18% and defense plus 34% if there is an extreme class enemy. So basically, if you're in a situation where there's both an extreme and super class enemy, you're going to be giving the whole rotation 50% attack and defense. I would have liked this guy to give a little bit of key to the rotation. Like maybe Android/Cell Saga category gets 3 key. That's it. That's all this unit really needed to be to the next level. But I don't know. Android Assault, Solid Support, Shocking Speed, Cold Judgment, Tough as Nails, Soldiers Battle. Their links aren't too bad for like an Android set, but I'm not a huge fan of this unit. I'm going to tell you guys right now. I think this guy could have been better, but we'll see. Because they're only on 4 teams. Android Cell Saga, Androids Join Forces, and Target Goku. Alright, so the last unit is a Super Saiyan Vegeta. Take a look at his art right here. Pretty good. Okay, so let's see. AGL, Super Saiyan Vegeta, Wholehearted Aggression, Leader Skills, Master Evolution, 130, Key 3. Super Attack is the final bullet attack, raises attack and defense for 1 turn and causes supreme damage, so that is a 30% raise. The passive, so he gets 100% attack and defense at the start of turn, then he gains an additional 100% attack and defense when attacking, so that's going to multiply into the start of turn buff, which is very good. So he gets Key plus 3, and he performs an additional attack when collecting 3 or more key spheres. Now, that additional attack can't be a super, because it doesn't say anything about it being a super here, so that's just going to be an extra normal attack, which is still good, because that lets you more easily get the hidden potential super attack. Then he performs an additional attack for 4 turns from first appearance, which I believe is also just a normal attack. So he basically is going to be doing 2 normal attacks for the first 4 turns, which again, is just going to help you get that hidden potential super as well. Then he gains an additional attack and defense plus 100% for the rest of battle after performing 5 or more attacks, and then attacks effective against all types for the rest of battle after performing 10 or more attacks. So basically, this guy just wants to attack a lot, which makes sense because of all the different times that he's going to be able to attack from his passive. And the links are Super Saiyan, Royal Lineage, Prodigy, Saiyan Pride, Golden Warrior, Brave for Battle, and Fierce Battle. And categories are Mastered Evolution, Pure Saiyans, Vegeta Family, Super Saiyans, Worthy Rivals, Android/Cell Saga, and Gifted Warriors. So those are the new characters coming out. These guys should come out on the night of the 27th/morning of the 28th, depending on where you are. But let me know down below what you guys think about these characters. Hope you guys enjoy this one, and I will see you all in the next one.